So what is core Java? Second module is core Java, right? What is core Java? What we have to learn in this module? We have OOP concept. What is OOP concept? Object oriented. What is object oriented programming? So it is object oriented programming. Java is a pure object oriented programming language, right? So what is called object oriented? What is object? What is meant by object? So what is an object? Instance of a class. What is the meaning of instance of a class? Okay, I understood. So what is the difference between a class and object? Two things are there, class and object. Object oriented programming language, object is the main thing, and we have class, object. What is the relation between these items? No, no, no. Good. What is that? Class means, like, how many of you are from civil engineering background? Civil background? Civil? No one? Okay. Simple example we will take then. Like if somebody is from civil engineering background, we can easily discuss about construction field. See, right now we will take simple example. Consider you are going to make coffee, normal coffee. So coffee is what? Actually, what is a coffee? What is meant by coffee? What is coffee? What is coffee? Consider anything we can consider. I am just giving you one simple example. No, don't compare class, object, these things. What is coffee? It's a drink, right? Okay. What will be the main ingredients of coffee? What are the ingredients we have? Milk, coffee powder, then water, sugar, then anything else? Anything else? Okay, these are the main ingredients, right? So to make a coffee, we require these things, I think, right? I don't know, because I don't know how to make coffee. I'm just asking you. So to make a coffee, we require these ingredients, right? Without any of this one ingredient, can I make coffee? Why? Can I avoid sugar? Can I avoid sugar? If I am diabetic, then can I avoid water? So main ingredients are what? With that also we can make, right? These are optional. Correct? Okay, let it be. So there is also some quantity, right? For like this many quantity of what milk, I have to add this quantity of powder. Correct? So can you have any idea of basic quantity that I can use? How much milk I can use? How much coffee powder I can use to make a good coffee? I can fill my glass with the coffee powder. Correct? I can fill my glass with the coffee powder, then I can add some 2 or 3 drops of milk. I can do it, right? So you have to give the idea how to make a coffee. If you are giving these four items and saying make a coffee, every individual will make coffee in different way, right? So you have to specify what quantity I can use there. Correct. So can you give me some idea about how much quantity I can use in this all these four items? Huh? Okay, good. Then come on. 2.5. So how I will specify 2.5? 2 is enough. Then tablespoon. Water, no water required. Pure milk, pure coffee. Then water, so water is 0 ml. Then 3. Okay. That's it. I can make a coffee using this quantity, right? Can I make coffee in different quantity? Like if I want some strong coffee, then so milk quantity is same. Okay. Then 3, 4. My God. Then water we are not adding. Then 3. Sugar should be less. So consider 2. Okay. Can I make coffee in this way? So what are the basic ingredients? This is what we specified, right? So these are what? If I am using this quantity, what will I get? Coffee, right? Correct? This coffee and the second coffee will be different, unique. Correct? Why? Because of the value of ingredient. The quantity which we are using, correct? That is different. So this coffee and this we can call as strong coffee. This we can call as medium. And we have light. Like based on the ingredient quantity we can change it. Correct? So actually these are the ingredients we are using and we can specify some particular values to that. Correct? Based on the value we are creating coffee. So here we have to specify the number of ingredients that I can use. Correct? Number of ingredients. Based on that, using that ingredient quantity, I will make the coffee. Correct? So one recipe, this is called recipe, right? These are the ingredients I have to use and the quantity I can decide. Correct? Quantity I can decide. So I created, using one recipe, I created one coffee. So what is that recipe? Recipe is called in our program or in our Java or object oriented concept. Recipe is what? Class. Which means it is specifying how to create the object. What are the things required for creating an object? Getting my point? So it is like a recipe, or we can say blueprint, or we can say one template. Correct? What is the use of a template? Template means what? There is a structure, right? We can use that according to we can customize it and use. Correct? So these things are called, we can consider these things as class. Class is what? Blueprint or a structure or a idea representation of object. So how the object should be created, or what are the ingredients of that object, this we will specify in a class, and using that ingredients or In class concept, we will say variables or attributes. Class can contain attributes, or what is attribute? In this coffee, what is attribute? Attributes are what? Ingredients, right? So each object have like some ingredients to use for creating that object. So that are attributes of a class. Getting my point? Then we can also, what operation I can do after creating this coffee? After creating the coffee, what can I use with that coffee? We can drink or we can serve. Like some operations are there, right? That we can do with that object. If coffee is the object, using that I can do some operations, like I can drink the coffee or I can serve the coffee to someone. Correct. So these things are behaviors. Getting my point? So class is what? Specifying attributes and behavior of an object. Class is specifying the attributes and behavior of an object. Using this attribute, I can create an object. That is what we are doing, right? Using that attribute, in the recipe, we have some attributes. We are using some quantity of that attributes to make coffee. Correct. So coffee is the object here now. Recipe is the class. So class and object concept in object oriented programming is also same. Class is using for what? To specify the attributes and behavior of an object. Using that attribute or behavior, we will create an object, or using that class, we will create an object, and I can use that object for any of these behaviors, specified behaviors. We can create the object using this attribute or using this class, and I can perform any behavior operations. Getting my point? So are you understanding what is the difference between a class and an object? We will take another example. So this is one example, which is a recipe and product. Correct. Product is what? Our coffee. Coffee is the final outcome, right? That is what we are creating. Using that I can drink, or that is behavior. So using attribute, I am actually creating a object. That object is coffee here. We will take another example. This is a small example to make you understand. So we will take another example. We are constructing a building construction. So there, how we can relate this class and object items? Building. What is a blueprint or plan of a building? Structure, right? Blueprint, or we can say plan. Any other names? You are understanding what is this, right? So what will be, how we will give this idea to customer? Like, consider you are the engineer who is creating the plan for the house. How you will represent the plan of the house? Based on that area that we have, and also the cost. Okay, that is later. First we will focus on the area and the rooms we required. Correct. So how we will express this idea to a customer? How you will express this idea? Like, as an engineer, we have to create a plan. So where we will create the plan? In a chart, or in a paper, or in a, like we have right now, we have computerized plan plans also, right? We can make plans in computer. So we will give this idea to customer, correct? Okay, so after getting this idea, can customer use this idea for their purpose of living? That plan can customer use that plan for using that as a building? Can we use that plan as a building, as like a building? Can I go into that plan and live? Then what we have to do next? Building a plan is just a form of idea, right? Then how we can use it? After checking that plan, we will create we will construct the building. So construction of building requires a land area, correct? As per the measurements, we will find out the land area, correct? Then we will construct the building. Then after that, customer can use it, right? Exactly as a building, because it is already constructed. Before construction can we use? So class is also same thing. Class is a blueprint of object. Why it is called blueprint? Why it is called blueprint? Because it is just a plan or structure of the object that we cannot use. It is just a idea presentation. Getting my point? So that we cannot use it as a object. So we have to construct the object from the plan. Getting my point? It's exactly like blueprint and the building. We have to construct the object. So how we can construct the object? How we can construct the building from a plan? Using a plan. First, what we required? Land. Correct. So exactly same as here. First, what we required for creating an object. Here also one land area is required. Where is that land area in computer? We required land area, right? Where is that land area in this computer? Memory. Where we will store this object? We are not creating building, right? We are creating object. We are not constructing building in computer. We are creating the object. So we have to store that in a place. That is the land area for that object. Correct. So we will create a plan first, that is class. Using that class, we will create object. This object we will store in a memory location. Then so that object will be in that memory location. Can I create another object with the same class? Can I construct another building with the same plan? Is there any restriction? If you are going to a villa, if you are going to a villa apartment, then what you can see there? How many houses will be there? N number of houses will be there. Will there be any difference? No, right? Everything will be same. So it is created from one. You can consider objects are created from one class. So to create similar object, we can use class. Getting my point? To create similar object. Similar object means we already discussed about coffee. We can make coffee with the different quantity measurements of ingredients, right? And these are from same class but different objects. Correct, because the ingredients we are using is different. So in that way also I can create objects, or I can create objects as a same different what we can say duplicates, like villa. So using one class, how many objects I can create? Number of. Using one class, we can create number of objects. So how to create a class? How to create an object? We have created lot of classes, right? We have created lot of classes. So how we can create an object? What is the syntax of creating object? Class name. Have you used this object creation anywhere in your first module? No. That's string, or what is this? What is this? What we are doing in this line? You created this, right? At that time, I think, did I inform you that this you can consider as a variable? Did I inform you anything related to this? No. What will be this? This you can consider as a variable now, but we will discuss that as an object later. Something like that I explained, I think. I don't know, is it here or there? Okay. So what is your assumption? What is this scanner? Variable, right? Data type and variable. You can consider in that way also, but there is a difference between normal variable and object. We will discuss that also. So here, this is the class name. This is the object name. What is this? What is the use? New. What is new? What are the things available, like required for constructing the building? First thing required for constructing the building is what? Land area. Creating an object, what is the first requirement? Memory location. So new is the keyword which is allocating the new memory location. Simple. Getting my point? New is the keyword which is allocating the new memory location. Always it will allocate the new memory location. So new keyword. Then what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Can you see the same name here? Then what will be this? Is that starting with the capital letter? So what is that? Class name with bracket. What is this? Bracket. Method bracket, right? Why method bracket is along with the class name? Method bracket is along with the class name. Why it is? Why these two items, different items, are together? This is called constructor. So to create an object, we required a new memory location and also the constructor of the class. Understanding? New keyword which is allocating the new memory location and the constructor of the class. Class constructor, how we can identify? Class name with method bracket, parenthesis. So this is called constructor of the class. So these two items are helping us to create the object. Because you can see equal to, right? What is that equal to? Whatever we are creating here is assigning to that variable. Correct. But here we are using new keyword. It will point to the new memory location, and there we will create the object by the help of constructor. Constructor means what? Same class name with parenthesis. There is a functionality for constructor. We will discuss that later. So new and constructor will create what? New and constructor will create what? Object of this class. So here we are storing that object into scanner. Scanner is a variable actually, but it is pointing to a memory location where the object is stored, where the object is created. Getting my point? So we can consider this as an object. Variable means it will point to the value where the value is like memory location where the value is stored. Here this variable is pointing to the memory location where the object is stored. Correct? So we can consider this as object of the class. So class, object, new constructor. It will create a object. It will create an object. Any doubt in this? No? So we will do one thing. We will try to create a class. For that we will take student. We are going to create our own ID. Our own ID. We are students here, right? So I will take a class. How can I create a class? What is the syntax of creating a class? Public class static public class name. Good, student. So this is the syntax of creating a class. This you have to create a different, like you can use that file new class. Correct, you can create the class with the class name student. So I created the student class. Then how many attributes I can consider for student? Tell me the attributes. ID. You can consider your ID, like whatever things are required in Talent Sprint for you. ID, name. Okay, contact number. Then mail. I will take these 4 items right now. We can add more later. We will add more. Just for example, I am taking this. How many datas are there? So these are the attributes of student, right? These are the attributes of student. How can I specify that here? Attributes means it is a variable. So for ID, which variable I will use? Integer I can use, right? Int ID, then string name, then long is good, long, C number, then string email. Okay, fine. So I created a class without specifying any methods, any other items. I specified 4 attributes of the class. Correct? You can see there is no other things. That is not a mistake actually. It is called instance variables. Instance variables or attributes of a class. Getting my point? So I specified 4 items. Okay, so you also try to create a class in this way and create an object in, like you have to create 2 classes. One class is student class. In that you have to specify these 4 variables. You don't have to give any value here. Correct, you don't have to give any value. That I can specify when I am creating an object what values are required for that object. Because object, I can, using that same class I can create n objects, right? So why should I specify any value here? Correct, I can create n objects using one class. So when I am creating an object, I can give the data directly here. I don't have to specify any data before creating, right? Understanding my point? So create an object in this way, like create a class in this way, then we will create the object. Create a class, then you can create another class in as a different file. You have to create 2 classes. One class name is student. There you have to give all these 4 items. Another class name is student main. Student main. There we will create main method and create the objects. So try to do this thing. After that I will discuss the remaining. First we have to create the class. What is the class name? Student. I will give the package name as classes and objects. So I given the package name and class name. So package is also created, class is also created. So in this class, what we have to do? How many attributes are there for this class? What are the attributes? Int ID, string name, then long, right? Okay, so long, contact number. So while giving this name, variable names, try to give the proper names, because now onwards we are started implementing the projects and all. So we have to give focus on this namings. Contact number, then string mail. Okay, so we created the object, correct? Student is the class. For student we have given these many four attributes. So while creating the object, I can use this attribute to specify these objects as different objects. So how can I create the object? Where will I create the object? We have to create another class in the same package, correct? What is the class name? Student main, because main method we are going to implement here. Main, then how we can create an object? Class name. What is the syntax of creating an object? Class name, object name, new. What is constructor here? Student. Done. So by using this line of code, I am creating an object, and that object will be there in the memory location. We don't know what memory location it is. New keyword will allocate a new memory location. Understanding my point? New keyword will allocate a new memory location, and there the object will be stored. Do we have any values in that object? How many values I can store using this variable? What is this? Object, right? How many datas I can store in this object? How many datas? How many datas are there? Correct. How many datas are there? We learned about arrays. Array is a collection of similar data type. Here also we are actually creating a new data type. Correct? Our data type is what? Student. How many datas I can store? 4 different datas. Int ID, string name, contact number, email. These 4 items I can store for any variables of student or objects of student. There is a difference between variable and object that we will discuss. So we have created a main method. Inside that we created the object. So in this object, how many data I can store? Object dot. I can take the first variable. What is that first variable? ID equal to 1. Okay. Then again into the next data. What is next data? Name. We can give a name. You can give your own name. Give your own name. Then how can I store the next data? Next data. What is variable? Contact number is the variable. Because we created an object, inside this object I can store 4 different items, right? Because 4 different instance variables I have used in class. It is same as our ingredients, correct? We are focusing on a recipe. In that recipe we have some attributes. In that attribute I can specify any value, correct? So here we created the object. In that object attributes I can specify any value. So object, this object dot ID contains 1. This same object dot name contains string data. Getting my point? Then number also you can give. What is the error here? What range? I am using long L. Correct. I am using long data type, but I have to specify L. Then std. Last one is what? Mail. That also string. So you can specify your mail ID here. So you can create your details. First object is created, right? First object is created. We given all the attribute values. Correct? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Please let me know if you have any doubt. What we have did here, we created a blueprint. What is blueprint? Class. We created a class, right? Student class. How many attributes are there for student? 4. We specified the attributes. Attributes, how we will specify? Variables. Correct. Attributes we created as a variable. Then we came here in this main, like we created the object in this main method. Correct. What is the syntax of creating object? Class name, object name equal to new constructor, constructor of the class. So new and constructor of the class will create the object. After creating the object, there is some attributes, right, which is uniquely representing that object. Correct. Uniquely, or duplication is also allowed. So how can I specify the values into the variable? Where is this variable right now? Inside the, like I cannot use the class for taking the variable because class is just an idea. Can I directly use class? Can I directly use class? No. That is why we are creating object. So when I am executing this line of code, what is actually happening? It will create a memory location. It will point to a memory location. just a memory location where 4 fields will be available. What are the fields? One memory location with 4 fields. It is not array, it is 4 fields. Integer field is there, string field is there, long field is there, again another string field is there, and also we have some names for these fields. What is the name for this integer field? ID here, name here, contact number, then email ID. Correct. So this is where std1. Correct. One object is created, means in one memory location we are while creating this object, means while after executing this line of code, in one new memory location we are creating a field with all these datas. But is there any data available? Are we giving any data? No, right? So we have to initialize the data. So to point out that, we are using std dot first field. It is not array. Don't relate this with array. Array is different. Correct. These are some fields. These are, you can consider this is a form kind of. Getting my point? So in this all different fields I have to give the data also, right? Getting my point? One memory location, 4 fields, because 4 attributes are there for this class. Correct. So while creating this object will point to this memory location where these 4 different fields are there. Getting my point? Then, is there any value available in this ID, name? After this line I am saying, after 5th line. This will be created but there is no data, right? So what we are doing? std1 dot id. We will specify what? 1. Then here name. Name. What is name? So that will be assigned here. Getting my point? Then std dot contact number. What will I get? Correct? Then mail. Fine. So all these datas we are giving to that object using this object name. Object name dot this variable contains 1. Understanding? So any doubt in this? How can I print these datas? Sysout std1. What will I get? Why, if I am giving std.1, what will I get? Memory location. Because this also is not actually, like this contains different datas, right? We don't know which data to be displayed. Correct, we are not specifying that. So it is getting memory location. We will not get the values in the object. In array, what we have used? Array concept. Array concept is also same. Array and string is actually non-primitive data types, right? For all non-primitive data type, I cannot directly print the item. Getting my point? So we here for classes we have another option. I will introduce that later. Right now it is almost about, like, our time is also running out. So we cannot print like this. if I have to print ID, how can I print ID here? Dot ID. Good. Okay, good. I have to print in separate line. So plus double quotes slash n std std, sorry, this we have to give outside, std1 dot name plus slash n std2 dot, okay, sorry, 1 dot contact number plus slash n, because we are printing that in different line. Then std1 dot email plus, that's it, enough, right? We can, okay, slash n, anyway this will perform slash n operation. After printing all the items, this slash n will bring the new, make the new line. Okay, so what will I get from here? Okay, we have not specified the message, we can specify that also, correct? Okay, let's do that also. How we can specify it? ID. Then name contact last one email, right? Okay. Any doubt in this output formatting? That we have discussed a lot in first module, right? How to format this output. Yes. Yes. We have to create student 2. How we can create student 2? 2. So I have created new student object, correct? How can I add different values? How can I add different, like I can add different value here, right? So any name, and while accessing, what I have to use here, that's it, done, correct? Any doubt on this? Any doubts? So how many objects are there? 2 objects. One object is this. So whatever operation I am performing, I have to do that with that object name. Here I have another object. Whatever I have to perform using this, I have to specify the object name as std2. Any doubt? Any doubt in this? Clear? So are you understanding how to create class and object? Any doubts? Every time when we are creating a new object, it will find out a new memory location. It will not store in the same memory location.